Hey MzeroA Nation, Jason here. Last week we shot the ILS 10 left into Portland. Today we're going to shoot the GPS 10 left into Portland. You asked a lot of questions, how did I set all that up? I know it all happened kind of fast, so in this week's video I want to go a little bit slower. We're on the ground at Portland and I want to show you how I actually set it all up in X-Plane. So we can see we're on the ground in Portland. If we look at our iPad, again, I've already briefed the approach for us, so we have all of that already set up for us. You can see us down on the ground there at Portland, and I want to shoot the full approach. Let's go all the way out to, let's use Pitter as our initial coming in here. So this will be a longer video. It's quite a ways out, but not a problem here. I want to show you the setup process. So right now I am actually paused, and we're going to configure everything just on pause, kind of sitting out here. So zooming in so we can see everything here, get all that set up, and I'm going to go ahead and work on getting everything programmed for us. So direct, it's got us direct Portland. We're going to go ahead and press enter on that. Procedurally, let's go ahead, let's select our approach. And again, we're just sitting on the ground, on pause. We'll drag the airplane out. I'll show you that here in just a second. Let's do select approach. It is the RNAV GPS Yankee. You know, you have a lot of GPS approaches, so you have to start naming them Yankee. So it's the GPS Yankee 10 left. All right, let's look. ILS, RNAV 10 left Yankee LPV. There we go. Are there other options though? Good, we'll work with that. Awesome, I want to make sure I got everything set up right. 10 left, GPS Yankee. Enter. I told you I want to go out to Pitter. Pitter it is. Enter. We're going to go, yes, set up our minimums, 300 feet, already set up there. Enter, enter. Let's activate it here. And we've got that set up. It's got us going direct to Pitter here in just a second. It'll update better once I get off pause. We'll get rid of the low volts and oil pressure and everything once we get up and running here. Now, I want to take you out and let's move ourselves on the map a little bit. So the hardest part is just actually selecting the airplane. There's not a lot of traffic around. And you can see, if you watch it simultaneously on fourth flight, can you see how we move? So I want to move us here. Let me zoom out. I need to go further out than that and to the north. This way I can kind of see where I want to be. All right, I lost us, there we are. All right, right by the F4 Phantom, that's cool. All right, I want to be somewhere, oh, not that far, Jason. Somewhere around there's not too terribly bad. Maybe a little closer, so we're not as far out. Okay, right around there is going to look perfect for coming into Pitter. Now here's something interesting I want to show. Look at our iPad here. Pitter is not where it says it is. You say, what do you mean? Look at our little squiggly lines here, right? What does that mean? It means the chart is truncated, meaning that yes, these are geo-referenced plates. However, if you flew right to this point on the plate, that's not where Pitter is. So we're going to need to use our MFD a little bit as well to determine actually where Pitter is on this approach. So we got that. I need to give us, gosh, I don't really know what heading to fly to know where Pitter is. It's probably generally out this direction, like a 214 if I had to guess. Pitter at 4,000 feet. 4,000 feet. Better give myself some speed or that's going to be an awkward coming off the pause. How about 92 knots? Sounds good. That's all set. Coming off the pause, it always kind of acts up a little bit here, but that's fine. I've got that set. Everything looks good. I am definitely in the air flying, as you can see. I'm going to go their version of the G1000 here full screen just for a second until we get all configured. It's kind of showing me the direction I'm heading. Let me pause and unpause real quick. Let it catch up. Give it some power here. Get us flying. All right, I've got all that set now. Now let me look and confirm here. All right, it is showing me where Pitter is. Pitter, it wants a 261 heading out to Pitter, as you can see, and I'm 5.7 from it here. I need to actually go through here. Let's work, maybe because we went with that off the pause here. Let's activate that approach. That should update now. There we go. There's that 261 highlighted just because we came off the pause button like that. All right, let's fly it. I want my flight plan up though. I like to see that. There we go. so I can see what's happening over there. All right, we're heading 4,000 feet to Pitter. If I can get this thing trimmed up a little bit better, use my heading bug here in just a second. I got that. I don't have enough hands. All right. Now I want you to look. I'm 5 miles out from there. Come on, use some trim here. I'm gonna hand fly it just for fun. I've got my map down here. You actually see everything here in just a second. I'm gonna leave the G1000 here big just for a bit, and then we'll switch it up. If I can hold my 4,000 feet a bit better, give that heading. I want you to look at the iPad. Again, the chart is truncated. So you're looking going, Jason, you are heading towards, looks like absolutely nothing, but I'm heading towards the initial approach fix in this case. Probably could have vectored myself a little bit better now. If you're looking in the bottom left like I am right now, I have a very aggressive turn around. I was actually reading the notes earlier here. Procedure turns not applicable for arrival at Pitter Victor 112 westbound. So again, you can see kind of how they utilize this. It's going to be a fairly aggressive little turn, but this is why we practice. Again, you're probably not going to get such in the real world, and you're probably going to do a better job at holding your altitude in the real world than I'm doing right now. Let me bring some power back here, put some nose down trim. There we go. All right, that's all looking great, but we can kind of see that all planned out. Make sure we have everything programmed. The main focus here that I like to train on the sim is, yeah, we want to practice our altitude holding, practice our instrument scans, but I really love practicing the programming. I love flying the obscure things. Like, honestly, if you were doing this in real life, this is a 30, 45-minute approach to do this. We'll fast forward through some of this here, because this is going to be a very long approach, perhaps. But just so you can see, though, the process through it. So 4,000 feet, holding that, 2.3 from this Peter, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Who gets to name these things? I always say Jason is 5 characters. You look at the Jason intersection, it's in Hawaii. I think it makes it a tax write-off to go to Hawaii just to fly through the Jason intersection. There's also the Jason, spelled wrong, but the Jason Gate in the DC Special Flight Rules area. Flown through that, actually. All right, I need to pay attention here because this is an aggressive turn. I don't know if the old X-Plane 1000 is going to give me the turn early enough. Here, it's counting down now. LT, left turn to 131 and 9, 8. And I'm going to cheat and lead it by 4 seconds here because I have a funny feeling it might be a hair off. It made the flip for me, thank you. Got a little head start. Look how quick that course is coming in. My assumption was correct. Let's keep coming around. Looking good. Not much more than standard rate. 131, big old turn. Looks like I'm heading to Annie, is it now? All right, gonna go through that course, no big deal. No need to be doing steep turns out here in actual conditions. We'll make it back up. Like we said, this is how we learn. We realize, hey, I understand the G1000 counted me in on my turn, but even with me leading it by a second or two, we're still gonna miss it by about 2 degrees. It looks like on the CDI, maybe more. No big deals, no need for steep turns. Way out here, we're in IFR conditions, take it slow, take it easy. I'm gonna go just to the left of my course because I'm not that far off. I'm gonna get back on my altitude here. Use my bug to hold that roughly. And we're good. Course is coming back in nicely. Got it trimmed up a little bit better. I'd like to climb back up just ever so slightly. Give her some more power to help do that as well. Speed's good. Holding this 120 now for a bit. There's really not a lot of wind that I programmed, just low visibility, a typical, actually no, this is real Portland conditions, so I stand corrected on that, but this is a good day. I was talking to Meg, one of our genius CFIs who works for us, and she was saying, Jason, that's a normal day in Portland. The last week's video with the ILS approach, so that's normal. You do your instrument before you do your private apparently out there, I guess, huh? All right. Looking good, coming back up on my altitude, nothing major. We're looking at this more from a procedural standpoint. 6 miles from Annie, I believe is how you pronounce it. I'm creeping in off my bug a little bit, only because you see my CDI sneak its way back in. I was perhaps a little early on that attempt. There we go. All right, looking, no turn from Annie into Buxom next. And it's pretty similar through Trail and through Blazer, just like we did on the actual ILS. last week. So it's looking good. I have everything else is set up nicely here. I've got about 5 miles to go. So we are just going to, again, I want to honor your time. I didn't want to see the whole thing. Let's fast forward till we're about 2 miles out as I turn back in towards the CDI now to hold that. All right, so picking it back up to now 1.9 miles out. Interesting, you see that? Some vertical guidance just kind of popped up there. Again, just assisting me. That's nothing official there. I guess, am I coming down? Yeah, after Annie, I can hop down to 3,000, as you see there. I don't see it actually in the profile view because it's just holding 3,000 through Buxom, but you can see as far as my MEAs through there, I could pop down to 3, and I think that would be a smart decision to do such anyways. Mile out. And we're all looking great. Staying on this heading now, it looks like, as it's counting me down at the top. You can see I'll come out of this full screen mode here in just a bit, probably after Buxom. Unless you like this. I kind of do like this approach. We don't need to totally see outside. It's not all about seeing outside all the time. We're looking good. All right. We got that 4. I am going to slowly baby this thing down to 3,000. I'm just taking a little bit of power out to do that. Watch what that does to my whole nose. Just drops that nose. I didn't touch anything other than bank it to the left. I've got this right turning tendency. I just can't seem to shake. So I'm going to bug it up just a little bit to the left of that. That's about on course. Let's try bugging it there and see what that does. Keep her coming down. Nice, slow descent. After all, I got 4 miles to lose it. After Buxom, on my way to trail, I'll lower my flaps and start to get fully configured. I know you guys think I'm crazy for getting configured so early, but in just a 172, I totally get it, but I'm weird sometimes. Just like to, approaches are easier when things happen slowly, right? So I'd rather just be configured as early as possible. 3,700 for 3,000 is where I'm going. I'm correcting just slightly to the left, ever so slightly, reeling that course back in, although if we look at our georeference plate, life's pretty good. I'm not sweating it too much. It's swinging its way back in here. 37 for 3,000, back to straight wing, straight level. It must be because I'm sitting in the right seat. Everything keeps pulling to the right. Bad CFI joke, sorry. All right, let's keep it coming on in here. Annie to Buxom, 2 miles, 130-ish. Okay, I keep pulling to the right. Some rudder trim or something. 35 for 3,000. I'm gonna be holding 3,000 for a bit until it's 3,000 trails at 2,900, so that doesn't do me a lot of good. We'll just hold this 3,000 here for a bit. All right, all's looking good. 34 for 3. Drift to the left here. What if I really have rudder trim? I don't want to touch anything because I don't know if I programmed it or not. 34 for 3,000, a mile. So I'm a little behind. You can see by my vertical guidance there, I'm a hair behind its suggested path. All right, a 103 is coming up. Getting ready to make that tiny little turn. I don't need to lead this one too much. 130 to 103 is not that big of a deal. And here we go. And keep her down, coming down. Buxom to trail now. 4 miles. Nice easy turn coming in. Keeping it coming down. Keeping the eyes moving. 32 for 3. Getting ready to cue my bug up. Bug me there. Roll out. Need more hands for flying a simulator sometimes. 100 feet roughly to go on the old descent. I am Buxom inbound to trail. 3,000 feet. Let it do its natural drift to the right because it seems to want to do that anyway. It's just to cheat me back over a little bit. Good. All right, hold that for a bit. Here's my 3,000. Give her some power and watch this. Drop in a notch of flaps. Watch it save that altitude. Woo! There goes the nose very quickly with a little addition of power and some flappage. Need to adjust my trim accordingly. Holding 3,000 now. And people wonder why I don't teach to put flaps in a turn. You see how that nose shoots up. I know it's a simulator, but it's not that far from accurate in that case, huh? All right, we're trimmed out real nice. Buxom to trail. Buxom to trail, I can actually come down to 2,900 now, as we see. So a little bit of power back to lose 100 feet in a mile. No sweat. That's easy to do. Back on course. Buxom to trail to 2,900 to Blazer, which will be at 2,000. And at this rate, there we go, we're coming down now. Looking really great. 0.6. I'm staying on this 103. It's my final approach course, 104. So got all that. If I get down to 2,900, life would be good. And before you know it, we're there anyways. We're going to come down to 2,000 at Blazer. Confirm, you see my HSI down here, switch to LPV. Confirm all that is good. I actually have my glide slope now, as you can see. Slightly below it. It wants me to come in at 2,000. I technically don't have to pick it up until Blazer anyways. And I need to go the tiniest bit to the right. However, at this little descent rate, I'm going to grab that glide slope, and I might as well utilize it to help me on my way down, grabbing it early, even though I typically wouldn't grab it until Blazer. Good. Correcting to the right. 2,800 for 2,000 until Blazer. However, if I follow the glide slope down, I should grab my 2,000 feet right at Blazer. It shouldn't be much of an issue. I drop a little bit more. Right on course, looking great. 2 miles to Blazer and 2,000 feet. 26 for 2,000. Little above my glide slope. Little right of course, not much. 1.6 out. 2,600 for 2,000, slightly high and just about on course. Correcting it ever so slightly left. Maybe a little more power back. I have to actually get a good descent going. There we go. 400 feet. Remember we talked about last video, 500 feet per minute is what this is configured for. So if I'm just flying 400, I'm gonna not even maintain, I'm gonna end up losing a little ground on it, as I just did. I don't know if you saw it tick away. You're staring at the glide slope. So let me increase the sink rate a little bit more, and I gotta get more to the left. There we go, that should be good. I think that heading's gonna work for me. I'm gonna bug for that and see what happens. There we go. All right, looking good. Need to come down. Here comes Blazer. Overcorrected a little bit and need to come on down. Slightly high, slightly left. No big deal. Taking some power back, flaps already in. Before land checklist, I'd want to have complete by now. Back on my course. Watch that glide slope come right back in. Blazer to 10 left. Taking this down to 300 feet, rounding up. 2,000 for 300. Looking good. Holding this heading here. 1,800 for 300. There comes my glide slope. 1,800 for 3. Tiny corrections. 1,700 for 3. Here comes my glide slope, getting ready to catch it because I'm going about 550 now. 1,600 for 300. Give myself a little bit of power. Come on. There we go, we're here. 1,500 for 300, looking great. On glide slope, basically just about on course. 1,400 for 3. Speed's good, everything's good. 1,400 for 3, slightly low. Picking that nose up just a hair, but better yet, give it just a millimeter or two of throttle. That'll save the day. See how to arrest that descent about 450? 1,300 for 3,000 to go. A little more power there. A little bit left, not much, just 2 or 3 degrees. 1,200 for 3. Awesome. 1,100 for 3. Everything's sneaking its way back in. Just kind of, I am just maintaining at this point. 1,000 for 3. Looking good, a little bit right, on glide slope. 900 for 3. Don't overcorrect. This is the time when you lose the localizer or the glide slope by overcorrecting. That looks like a big change. It's not. That's all it needs right there. Watch that localizer come right back in. 900 for 300. Watch. I'm 2 or 3 degrees off my bug. I'm still touching the bug. Look at how that course sneaks right back in. 800 for 300. You don't need to chase it all over the place. 800 for 300, if I didn't say it already. Slightly high. Slightly right. I am slightly right. I mean, I need to go slightly left. 700 for 300. It's just getting touchy. Don't sweat it. I can go just that much to the left. Will fix everything. 600 for 300. Watch that course swing right back in, just like that. 500 for 300. Hopefully you're practicing your instrument scan with me here. I'm gonna hold this heading right here. 400 for 300. Hold this heading right here. All right, let's pause. Bring down the old G1000. Peek outside, and not too shabby, huh? We actually broke out. You can see, let me show you what that looks like. I mean, that's what a little bit, needing to go a little bit to the left looks like when you're this close. Look at the, I want to pause for a second. You see the runway outside, right? Yes, we're lined up to land about right around here, right side of the runway. But what does that look like when you're this close? Whereas people could freak out and go, oh, I want to chase this and follow this, and you just end up, let's simulate that. Let's try to chase that needle and get that needle to come back in. We fly this direction. Watch how quickly that CDI comes back in. By the way, I should trap my power and land this airplane. You put in your little correction angle, because here comes center line where it's configured for. Watch that localizer swing right through. And then by now you're chasing it, trying to line back up, and before you know it, you're on the left side of the runway. See? Let me chop power land this thing here real quick. Zoom out just a hair so I can see better. There we go. All right, back under control. Don't grade my simulated landings. I promise next month's Secret to Perfect Landing series will be way, way better than that landing. Use some pedals, get on the brakes here. So I know this was a longer video, but I wanted to show it to you from beginning to end. We started out right here on this very runway. We programmed everything up sitting here. We drug ourselves out on the map. We used ForeFlight to realize where we were dropping ourselves on the map, because the X-Plane map's just not that great. We learned that this pitter, however you pronounce it, is truncated on our approach plate. So we didn't quite know where we needed to go. We had to trust the GPS. We actually didn't lean on the MFD as much as I thought we would. We used that, and of course the tiny scale down the bottom left corner of our PFD, but it really made all the difference. You can use a simulator for things like this. The full approaches, the tough things, the weather you're not willing to fly in yourself. I know it's tough to get the realistic feedback. I know you're going to be kind of like myself, chasing altitudes, following needles, everything else, but we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for you to get better at your programming, better at your instrument scans, and of course, we want to do a little bit of decent flying ourselves as well. You heard those altitude call-outs that I did. I know it's crazy calling out every 100 feet that I descend down, but it forces me to keep my eyes moving. and that's going to prove very beneficial to you in the actual instrument environment. So MzeroA Nation, like on the ILS video, I read all your comments on YouTube, on Facebook, on MzeroA.com. I can't wait to read your comments on this one as well. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and most importantly, remember that a good pilot is always learning. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you. Take a 2-week free trial of our online ground school and see why Aviation Consumer Magazine named it the top online ground school on the market. The first thing you'll notice is that we never teach to the test. We teach real-world skills that are going to keep you and your loved ones safe when you fly. Now, it's because of this real-world teaching, you'll pass your knowledge test and your check ride with flying colors. With one membership, you get access to all our courses, plus weekly webinars with myself and this outstanding MzeroA.com team. It's really like an interactive TV show broadcast from our studio, where you get to interact with a team of CFIs. We also offer live support and email support to make sure you succeed. Now, one thing you'll notice is that MzeroA is like nothing else on the market. It is truly a flight training community geared towards making you a safer, smarter pilot, because a good pilot is always learning. It's much more than a slogan for us. It is truly a mission. So click below and take a 2-week, no strings attached trial of our top-rated private, instrument, commercial, and FOI courses. Once you join our flight training community, I promise you will never want to leave.